Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing our Birthing Pond or our Repurposing Bay deck where we use a card from Aetherdrift that allows us to pay 2 mana into it, sacrifice another artifact, and go grab an artifact equal to 1 mana higher. So if we sacrifice a 2 mana artifact, we can conveniently enough go tutor out our synthesizer and put it directly onto the battlefield, the main kind of function of this deck. Make a lot of constructs in a turn or two and then close out the game and use the Repurposing Bay to go get tools to keep us alive along the way, or tools that can remove our opponent's creatures out of the way so our constructs can finally close out the game. We have quite the list of cards that can go up and down. As you can see, in terms of artifacts, we have like Market Gnome, Enigma Jewel that can lead into a Lodestone Needle, Saw Blades, Glass Casket, Fabrication Foundry, or Clay Fire Bricks. This can gain its little life, is why it's in here. This could be a one target removal outside of like these, where like maybe the creature has a lot of toughness. There's a lot of counters decks running around, or even Delirium, where you don't necessarily want to remove the creature, you just want to exile it so they don't get access to it anymore. Other than that, we have the synthesizer, but we're most likely never sacrificing this if we can help it, with the other 3 mana spells being maybe another Purposing Bay that we sacrifice, a Snare, a Braided Net, and a couple copies of Thran Spider. Always nice to grab this, get a Power Stone, and then we can restart the cycle all the way up if we want to, if we have that amount of time to do so. Other than that, we are into Thousand Moon Smithy, kind of acting as an additional copy of Synthesizer, making a lot of constructs slash gnome creatures, and then the Aether Spark, because we've had this do crazy things. You equip this into a construct. Most of the time, that construct's going to be at minimum a 5 to 7, and it's going to hit a creature most likely because they'll block. And this will get 7 loyalty to 5 loyalty, and then we can make 10 mana off of it, which allows us to do absurd things. Then we have Mightstone Weak Stones into the Inner Sun to act as kind of a 1-2 punch on the top end, and a couple of copies of Voyage Home. That I said, we're going to go ahead and dive into games. I am actively at Chicago when this goes live. The intros and outros are going to be very short. Hopefully that doesn't really bother anybody. Some of the decks will also not have a ton of changes, as I don't have a lot of time to brew and play all day, because tomorrow I'm driving 8 hours to go to Chicago, or 8 to 10, I don't remember how long it is. It's a while, but with that said, let's go game. If there's a hand the Voyage Home probably wants to see, I would imagine this is it, so we'll keep. No, I'm not fully confident in this hand. Play a Market Gnome, sure. Blue white sleeves, I don't know what that could be. We all love control, right, team? Control's our favorite format. It's Fabrication Foundry. There's obviously a lot worse than Fabrication Foundry that they need to counter, so if they're holding up a no more lines, they're obviously going to wait for that. But sure. Another Market Gnome. Yep, it's control. Sure. Yep. Yes, sir. Now, the thing about it is, as long as we can counter, not even counter, as long as we can play around the counter spells in a way that we don't get our cards exiled, these cards will actually help us out a ton. Oh, yeah, I'm ready with my 2/0/3 strikers here. Having a good time. Got everything in play. We got a Voyage Home to cast. What's your play? Nothing? Oh, I'm so surprised. To activate this, cast a 7 mana spell with, I don't know, a ton of stuff to be put in. Now, that's one of the reasons I didn't want to play that, but we have to wait on Repurposing Bay until next turn, I believe. At least I believe so. Well, we can cast it now and then we can't pay for it. Yeah, we just might as well wait, because now we can play an untapped land and they have to use 3 steps ahead. Sure. Oh, cool. So now we can bait out a spell, which is nice. I mean, might as well use this mana, right? Because if we have to pay for a No More Lies, we want to be able to pay for a No More Lies. Oh, it's stuck. Okay. Wasn't ready for that. This one? Yeah. Does it resolve? Are you ready for artifacts? There's the No More Lies. Sure. One of the reasons we kept the old Thran Spider on top is so we can cast a creature following this turn. Gonna sacrifice that to draw a card. Sure. The only way I guess we are in a position where we lose, obviously, is if they answer the synthesizer very quickly. Exercise is a card I can think of off the top of my head. Or we lose to Jace Mill, which is obviously possible. So. Grand Spider. Remember, this did get countered with the No More Lies, so it is exiled. Spider actually resolves, which is interesting. Interesting indeed. Well, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. We play this so we can actually now activate the Thran Spider, which is quite funny. Most likely getting hit with like a Sunfall if I had to guess. They can sacrifice that token if they want. They do to draw a card. Needs no more mana for you later if you're playing artifacts at all. But I could get hit for 30 off of 2 Jaces in like a turn. Oh, we're playing dig through time. Nice. What is your hand that you've drawn all these cards and you're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to answer the board. Go down to 3 mana. Now they have 4. Blowing everything up. And even if they do that, we draw 2, which seems like not great. Ibiza? Sure. We can get rid of Ibiza, that's for sure. Let's take that. This is our artifact. Gain life and they make some dudes. Hey, discard a board wipe. Okay. Response to this board was to keep the board wipe. Comes Aether Spark. Construct. Plus. Here. Veilland. Sure. Here's a 12/12. Now, when this does combat damage, it'll put 12 loyalty counters on Aether Spark, and we can make 10 mana. That's something we want to do. Against control, all that mana is obviously going to be good. So we can activate Thran Spider a couple of times, take a lot of draws. Obviously, they can get rid of this. It is a... Can't be attacked, but it's still a Planeswalker? I have no idea. Can't be attacked? Oh no. I haven't had an opponent play it against me, so I have no idea what it can and can't be targeted with or without, you know? But we have our 7 mana still to activate this Thran Spider and just buy the synthesizer off the top of our deck. It got rid of a Day of Judgment, which was something to say the least. Thran Spider, however, if they do like a weird play, it might be something along the line of like, we just remove their creatures and hit them for lethal. Alright, they want to start off with digging. Makes sense. I'm using a demo field to shuffle away the top card. Obviously, they don't know it's a synthesizer, but we did keep on top off of surveilling, so that like is obviously some information. I assume this has to be like, they're going to try to Jace Millis out of the game. Or probably just getting hit with a Sunfall or something. They got rid of a Day of Judgment, which means to me that they have to have like Sunfall or something similar. They get lost the Aether Spark. Sure. So it can be targeted as though it's a Planeswalker. That is good to know. Now, we're in the spot where we can try to strike our opponent for lethal. They're running out of timeouts. They're running out of time. They have 3 mana available. I guess temporary lockdown could be cast. Nothing. We activate. Ice Stone, Weak Stone's kind of hard to turn away, huh? But I definitely think... Nah, it's got to be Might Stone, Weak Stone, right? -5/-5 on that. And stun down or opponent's creature. Yeah, I mean, seems good to me. Here. You can also bring the Aether Spark back, which is pretty funny. Sure. So we can force a Biza trade by, or I just bring back that, right? If I have the mana to do so, I can play. Yeah, I think we can find lethal here if we do it right. So we play this. We remove this, or we tap that down. We then activate this for 5. Yes. Grab this. Sacrifice this and this. This re-enters. We do -5/-5 here. Make a construct and hit them for lethal, I believe. Just we'll play this just to ensure that it's lethal. And we strike for a good attack. Cool. I don't know. I couldn't be... You couldn't ask me at any point today why they got rid of Day of Judgment. Especially the turn they played Debiza. They didn't draw a card. Like, they could have just blew up my whole board. But instead, we got to activate Thran Spider multiple times and have this construct hit them. I don't know. Rest? Sure. Well, they have one selection, unfortunately. Draw land, exactly what we wanted. Flying, of course. It's those 4 land hands, dude. I swear if you open up with a 4 lander, you're guaranteed to draw a 5th one. Just every time. Let's see it, brother. Cast your Deep Cavern Bat. Take my only spell. Uh-huh. Like, our opponents are making the game harder than it needs to be. You know? We'll play this now. We'll just hold. Flasher or something can come in that this can block for a turn, I suppose. Isn't really going to do anything unless they put a kind of creature in their creature land into play, but get our market gnome draw. Oh, yay! More lands! Exactly what I need to win this game. Thankfully, we basically draw another version of Synthesizer. It's exactly what we need. It just, if you've watched me long enough, you guys know I cannot stand flooding whatsoever. Flooding actually irritates me the most. Just because it's like, if I'm missing a land drop and I have spells, I always kind of have that hope. If I hit a land, I can actually start playing the game. Where if it's the opposite way, it's like you're never playing the game ever again. Good luck, dude. It's just like, okay, yeah, my bad, brother. Our mana's a bit weird, where we kind of have to just do this bay here to get a Synthesizer. We could just like load up again by playing a Thran Spider and going that route, I guess. Then play Repurposing Bay next turn, and then get a Synthesizer and get a Synthesizer. I guess so. That works out better in my mind anyway. But sure. Play a Thran Spider they know about. Best part about Thran Spider is it can block the kind of 4-mana creature, whatever his name is, Aclazotz. Oh, so that's not even Bloodletter. What's the 5-mana one that we just like never see anymore? The one that turns into a land? Kind of funny when you find those cards and they just never come back around. Now there's an Enigma Jewel, which is nice to an extent. It's not like the best card of all time. But here we activate this first. We go get a Synthesizer. Synthesizer enters. I actually don't even mind the Glass Casket draw, I think. We will actually be short on the repurposing bay play. The mana cost that we need. And there's a construct. Then there's a bigger version of the same construct. Might be able to find more. They could play Anoint. These cards are possible. This is one of the downsides of having to play against this card. It is a bit awkward whenever it comes to like this die, then this maybe die, then they can play this and make me sacrifice something. They can't activate that because of the Power Stone I gave them. That is true. Always fun. But thankfully we have a glass casket on top. The Slasher I weirdly don't care about in the slightest, which is kind of awkward, right? Like, it's like, how do we not care about that? But, well, we go glass casket. Even work it, sure. I don't know. We're gonna pretty much present lethal next turn regardless. Like, it's gonna all do the same essentially. So we get drained from this. The speed goes up. What do they play for speed? Oh, this gives speed. Ah, nice. We play land. We play glass casket. We absorb this. We activate this. Might as well go grab synthesizer. Make a construct. Scry 2, even though the scry won't matter, although that's a pretty good card. But I still think it's just this. Do this. Let's actually do kind of a fun play here. Let's grab the Aether Spark. Make 2 constructs. Let's plus and equip it to the Thran Spider. And then we'll attack and we'll put 3 loyalty counters on the Aether Spark. Then we have it to like draw some extra cards. My stone, weak stone into whatever is nice, but also 3 10/10s is also nice. But if we see like a board wipe here, we're going to be happy that we kind of have a way to get more cards in our hand. And having 2 of these online with 2 synthesizers already in play doesn't necessarily do fun to help us win. But I don't know what their play here is to get themselves out of this game. Mono black typically cannot deal with synthesizer ever. The only real win con they have here is somehow getting the unstoppable slasher through while also having the Aclazots. Or just having Aclazots in the air, because the only ways I've kind of lost that card, which is why I went up on Thran Spiders, is like they play one and they play a second one and we get hit for 8 off of Unholy Annex's ability alone, and then Aclazots hits you for 8 and that's just 16 in one turn. So like, obviously it's a big mana play, but it is what it is. Our opponent's in the tank. They're thinking through all their options. I believe they're here. I think they're actually trying to figure out how to get out of this game. But I cannot think of a card outside of some card that they may splash that would help them. Something like Speed Demon, but not enough. Just too much on the board, I think. So we're going to come away with this one, I believe. We'll kind of cut back in maybe whenever they start. Actually kind of make a play here. All right. Anoint comes up. Do they have a second one? Then there's just like no blocker. I guess they can just tank one of them. 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, problem is they just like can't. This construct's about to get way too large. Synthesizer off the top is obviously a devastating draw. Never want to see that, but we'll just keep. Be sure that's enough for lethal right now. We'll just attack. Oh yeah, they can gain life off the speed there. Sure, they found a way out. I'll give it to them. I just don't see that card outside of the decks. It just like pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it. So it's just kind of like whatever, I guess. Maybe I was just trying to end the game a little too quickly, but I have to figure that out. We'll just hold this repurposing bay to hit more artifacts if need be. We could have went and got a My Stone Weak Stone, I suppose, but sure. And that's gonna do it. Okay, yeah, I mean we'll definitely keep this. We have a weird play though. This won't really help us at all. So I think we just play this and see what our top draw is. And I think with repurposing bays and stuff, I'm not even sure I want to land. I think I just want to find more options. On a red, sure. Unlucky, of course. All my homies love mono red. But we can kind of get through this pretty quickly, I think. So we get to play a bay, sacrifice this, go get a glass casket. And then we can look to grab a synthesizer, go large, go home. Because mono red doesn't really typically have ways to deal with glass casket. Although, I guess a saw blade would be even better here, right? Because it's just like, what else would we do? Now, unfortunately, can't play synthesizer this turn because it's just too risky. So we'll play a bay. We'll sacrifice bay. Or not sacrifice bay. We'll sacrifice jeweled to the bay. And then we'll grab a glass casket here. Or a spring-loaded trap. A spring-loaded trap. Spring-loaded saw blades. Now it's gone. And then we have repurposing bay on this. Get unsure, I guess, what to grab. Like at some point we obviously want to establish a synthesizer, but I think a braided net might have to be where we go. Also, their mana sucks, to be honest. Not that, like, I understand playing this land. The mana just kind of sucks because they only have these cards that make like creatures. Oh, that's actually a really good pickup. It means we get to go like this, activate this, sacrifice this, go on our deck. We could grab the snare, I guess, or I can grab a Thran Spider, which would give us a blocker, but I think braided net just makes all the sense in the world here. Braided net's such a sick card. It just kind of gets to lock down the higher claw, and then we just go right into synthesizer into something else. Lock higher claw down. No damage will be taken this turn, maybe. But for 4 mana, what do we have? I guess we get to go. Oh, that makes sense. Sure. Oh, now we hit the other land, so that's obviously huge. Now we go synthesizer. Synthesizer comes in. Repurposing bay is whatever. Voyage home is going to be a nice grab, I guess. It would have been a nice grab. But obviously, I think we're moving on from it as well. We need to grab a answer to the board. In a sense. I could play repurposing bay too, but that doesn't really get me anywhere. If I play Thran Spider, that also doesn't get me anywhere. I need construct block plus a tap down, I suppose. Cutting off our mana over and over again does kind of suck. But let's go with this. Then let us grab the snare here. Snare will absorb this. We'll make a construct. And then we have a tap down on this creature. And then we have a block on the hired claw. Another creature land. It's a little tough, obviously. Look to activate it. Playing a Phoenix Chick, funnily enough. You know what the block should be? Phoenix Chick can't be targeted by the village, but this being targeted by the village, I mean, we're tapping it down anyway. Not a lot of scenarios in which you don't tap that creature. Then we'll get to play a Thran Spider second purposing bay here. And we will get to kind of block the Phoenix Chick for free. We could see a Monstrous Rage come in on the higher claw to answer our construct, which totally makes sense. With Stalker Frenzy also does it. Kind of funny. You're gonna let me get the blocks first? Sure. Little surprised, but I get it. They're like, I have a flyer, I might as well use it, right? We can grab a 4 mana thing for the snare. So I guess it's just play Thran Spider. Do all this. Sacrifice the snare. Go grab 1,000 Moon Smitty, I guess. Present lethal next turn. Attack for 10. Take half their life total. We have a blocker for here. We have a tap down there. and everything's looking pretty good. All right, I think this is a fantastic hand, having a Jewel right away. No real like commitment into the Jewel, but we have Jewel and the Foundry into like a glass casket maybe. We get some options there. Having Foundry with kind of the sacrifice outlet has been incredibly nice, mainly for the fact that we can sacrifice them and then bring them back even if we want to. So unfortunately, we're going to play the Foundry first. Might as well accelerate our mana while we can. And then we'll most likely play this Archive, Glass Casket, maybe something that they end up playing here. Or their Delirium. Delirium we typically have a pretty good chance against, in my opinion. Just because they can't outpace the constructs. Like the double strike doesn't do them much good. In case like that, well that changed pretty much everything. I'll put a 4/4 in the way. And then now we have Archive in the Glass Casket. Unless Arena has other plans for me. And then maybe we're Mightstone, Weakstoning. I have no idea quite yet. 2 Afterburners in there? I literally played this deck. I could not get Afterburners to work. Alright, update. I'm going to be Glass Casketing something. Don't need more of those right now. I'd love to Mightstone, Weakstone it. I just don't think I can. So we fire off a Glass Casket. Absorb this Haywire Might. And that's where we're at so far in this game. Hold my 5/5 back. Typically these decks haven't played the buff spell anymore. The one that like gives you a lot more advantage on Delirium. They have an exhaust here. They're going to go for it. Okay. Gain a little bit of life. Now they can make a dragon off that, which is a little tough. Obviously we'll take our free block here. As from what I've noticed, that worth? It's not worth this turn. We can totally do it next turn. It is just 100% not worth doing it this turn. Because next turn we can even just cast an Enigma Jewel and do whatever we need. Let's go here. Let's do -5 on this creature. That creature is typically the best creature that they have. So I don't necessarily want to waste time with it. Nothing really in that graveyard to use. And we'll tap, 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 and tap, and tap. And then we'll use this. Oh, we can't on the Enigma Jewel. Cringe. That sucks. Actually. Did it play another one of those creatures? Activate the exhaust cost. Okay, sure. Seed of Hope. They have 3 in there. Brother, I tried so hard to do that. Like, it's so nonsense. It's such nonsense. I don't think I can activate here just yet. Cancel. Let's do it this way. Oh, whatever. Enigma Jewel can go. Alright, there's a repurposing bay, which can honestly get a lot of value here anyway. So let's go ahead and grab that. Let's go ahead and set it in play. Then I can go ahead and obviously we could go get a synthesizer, but I think we're at the plan of doing this. Go grab here. Let's play our little land. Cover 5. Stall Blades, you're kind of annoying. We'll put in hand though. Thankfully we have the mana to do it. So if they go to attack, we can kind of hit a thing. Yeah, of course you have it. Of course. Yeah, bring back 3 creatures. They are 20 cards deep and they've hit 3 of these. That's so annoying. It's just like if I tried to hit 3 of them, which I played this deck, I know I didn't hit 3 of them. I always say, whatever one they target, obviously we're going to Spring Loaded Trap, pop that one. We're going to take 8, 9, 10 here. Oh boy. Well, there's a synthesizer side. I pause. There is a synthesizer. So tap, tap, tap. tap and tap, I guess. Do this. Construct, that come in. Neither of those are good because, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. We do here. Go to, we have a 2 mana and a 1 mana. We could exile something, but also making more things is probably best. I guess I could play a snare, right? Thran Spider is also good. I always like Thran Spider in spots like this. That just gives us an extra blocker. Gives us a thing to activate. But then that gives him 4 mana to activate that. So I guess it's the snare. And then we'll just exile this guy. Or is it this guy? Well, they can always activate one of these. So I guess it has to be that guy. Of course, you're a market gnome. It's like, hey, we could hit like good artifacts, but we're gonna hit a salt blades and a market gnome. You know, our 6 mana investment. I guess we didn't pay 6 mana into it. We paid 5 and sacrificed an artifact. But you know, Dredger's Insight number 2, pretty good. Could sacrifice 5 mana worth of artifacts to get back a Mightstone, Weakstone. We're only really gonna go for that if we can kind of strike for lethal here. Second one of those. Thankfully, we didn't give them anything. They have activation next turn for a lot. Another market gnome is maybe not the best thing of all time, but you know, doing it this way is pretty good. And then now we can maybe activate this, grab a Mightstone, Weakstone, use it as a draw. They kind of are in a spot where they kind of almost have to block. So that's obviously nice for us. I can activate this. I just don't have enough to bring back. So honestly, I think it's just here. Cancel. White here. Sacrificing this. And we can go grab a Thran Spider that has reach or a Braided Net. Braided Net's pretty good here. Go bigger constructs. Move to combat. Guess swing one of these for now. They block. Sure. Makes total sense to me. Put a stop on their upkeep. Turn. Put it in hand, I guess, because we can use that to activate here. Right here. Shuts off the ability, so they kind of have to commit to that exhaust. So they shouldn't, unless I'm wrong, I don't think they can activate the exhaust cost right now. I think it's activated abilities, so they're not going to be able to bring more experts back. Unless I'm wrong. This has hit every low mana spell in our deck almost. Actually, it has. It's technically hit a Market Gnome and an Enigma Jewel. I think they're realizing now that they can't activate their creature with Braided Net having a weird line of text on it. If you're unsure what it does exactly, but remove a net counter from this artifact. Tap target non-land permanent. Its activated abilities can't be activated as long as it remains tapped. So, unless I'm wrong, yeah, it can't activate. So, nice. So none of these exhaust abilities were able to activate, so they couldn't get both these experts back. But yeah, I'm not joking. As it probably will upload 2 days prior to this one. I was playing this deck. I feel like I only ever had one of these in the graveyard, and this player was like, I got 3 in there already. It's crazy. It's crazy work. It feels like a bad hand. Oh boy, this feels like an expensive hand. I guess I keep and I throw one of these back and we get ran over by red. Yep. Land go. Don't worry, we just have to have a Chimley out to find all of our 1 mana artifacts and stuff, you know. I guess there was 2 in our last hand, but like, oh look! Welcome to the party, brother. Exactly where I wanted you. Honestly, if they monstrous raise this manifold mouse, I'm probably just conceding. It's just like activate here, only make it like slightly large. Sure, I guess. Is this 5 or a lot more than 5? It's not 5? It's not a lot more than 5? Okay, cool. Well, we have a chance then, feels like. Yeah, you'd be nice earlier, but you're a one of. I understand you not always showing up. Totally makes sense. Can't always have what we want. Try our best every day, but most likely it'll never come to fruition. They did nothing to this last turn. Okay, it looks like they might have something this turn. Double shock? Okay, fair enough. Well, their hand's pretty much on empty, but the problem is we're taking 7 here. Half your life total, please, Mr. Sir. I said okay. And this is only going to be a 3/3. That's tough, bro. That is tough. We just don't have time to play the other ones because of how slow our hand came off. Like, if we got to play this one too, I mean, we'd be way better off because this would be a little bit larger. Our Thran Spider could have maybe stayed because, I don't know. It's a weird situation. But again, their hand wasn't the greatest kind of going through these turn cycles, so who knows. Screaming Nemesis, a card I cannot block. So that sucks. I mean, if they have another shock, they have another shock. This is 2 damage. I have to just kind of find a way to get Screaming Nemesis down. I don't know. Brother, you have lethal. Okay, so here we are. We are in the outro, and I will pretty much say I wasn't as big of a fan of this variation of it, where we kind of added a couple things. This card was good. It was one of the main reasons I made the change a little bit. Well, obviously, I didn't make a ton of changes because I'm getting ready for Chicago. I got to get ready to leave and things like that. Voyage Home was a cool card, and it worked well in the deck. The only real problem is I didn't play 3 steps ahead at all. I did put in this Lodestone, which was like nice in a couple of spots. It did feel a little weird at times. Like, we're never really going to tutor this card. But just having a flash artifact was just nice. But is Springloader Trap better? Maybe. I'm not sure. Like, one of the weird things. We're like tapping down a slasher for 2 turns and not necessarily having to kill it. Using this for an Aclazotz feels much better. But using this on an Aclazotz or a slasher doesn't necessarily change anything, because if we were to kill it, it would get stun counters anyway. So it is a little bit weird, but it was nice against red at times as well. I only had 1 snare in here. I honestly, until this exact moment, thought I put a second copy in. Did not do that, so I'm probably going to play a second copy of this card because this card's really sick. But other than that, that functioned well. I'd like how it plays. It did a little bit worse than last time. With that said, I don't have a ton of time, so that's all that's going to be for me. And I hope you all enjoyed the video regardless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Watching, and goodbye.